You ever have that feeling? That sinking feeling? You just paid good money for a pro guitar setup. You get it home, you plug it in, and it's just okay. I mean, it's not great. So today, we're going to dig into the real reason why so many setups feel like a letdown and what a setup that actually changes the game is all about. Does this sound familiar to you? The guitar plays, a little better, sure, but it is absolutely nowhere near that amazing, life-changing experience you thought you were paying for. And it's so easy to just tell yourself, maybe I was just expecting too much. Look, these aren't just random gripes. These are the classic signs of a setup that just wasn't done right. You've got that annoying fret buzz that won't go away, the tuning that just refuses to stay locked in, or just that general feeling that the guitar is fighting you every step of the way. But the worst one, the absolute worst, is when you're told, that's just how this guitar is. It's so frustrating, and honestly, it's almost never true. So where does the problem really start? Well, a lot of the time, it's baked right into the process itself. You see, there's a super common setup sequence out there that, on the surface, seems totally logical. But it has this one fundamental flaw that almost guarantees you're not going to get the best results. And here it is. People call it the TRAIN sequence. It's an acronym: tune, relief, which is that little bit of curve in the neck, action, your string height, intonation, making sure you're in tune up the neck, and finally, the nut. It all looks pretty straightforward, step by step. But trust me, there's a major conflict hidden in this order that causes all sorts of problems. And here it is. This is the fatal flaw. In step 3, you're carefully setting your string height, the action, down at the bridge. You dial it in perfectly. But then you get all the way to the end, and the very last thing you do is adjust the nut. The moment you file those nut slots lower, you've just changed the string height at the other end of the guitar, which completely messes up the action you've just perfected at the bridge. You've literally undone your own work. And look, this isn't just my opinion. It's just physics. As this says right here, whatever you change at one end of the string changes the center by half that amount, every time. So that TRAIN method, it just creates this endless, frustrating loop where you're constantly chasing your tail and undoing your previous adjustments. Okay, so if that common method is broken, what's the alternative? Well, it's a completely different way of thinking. It's a philosophy that throws guesswork out the window and replaces it with precision. Let's talk about the 3 pillars of this approach. First up, everything is measured. No more, that feels about right. We're talking about using real tools, digital calipers, feeler gauges, super precise rulers, to get hard, objective numbers for every single adjustment you make. Second, it's structured. Unlike that flawed TRAIN sequence, a proper system follows a logical order where every step correctly builds on the one before it. This means you never have to go backward. That structure is what gives you consistent, repeatable results. And number 3, every single step is verified. Before you even think about moving on to the next part of the setup, you check your work against specific measurements. Did you nail the neck relief target? Is that string height exactly where you want it? This process gets rid of happy accidents and guarantees a predictable, perfect outcome. And this whole system, it has a name: the MasterPro Guitar Setup. It's not just a couple of quick tweaks. It's really more of an engineering approach that's designed to squeeze every last drop of performance out of an instrument, every single time. All right, so what does this actually look like when you're doing it? What are the little details that make this system work so well? This is where the real magic happens. It all starts with the foundation. I mean, before you adjust a single thing, you have to check the guitar's basic geometry. Is the neck actually straight? Is the neck angle right? How are the frets? Is the nut in good shape? Is all the hardware stable? You just can't build a great setup on a shaky foundation. Now, let's zoom in on the nut, because this is a massive source of tuning problems. A real pro setup goes way beyond just getting the slot depth right. Look at this. The slots are actually filed at a specific angle pointing right towards the tuning pegs. You combine that with a tiny subtle rounding on the back edge of the slot, and it makes a huge difference. So why do we obsess over a tiny detail like that? Because it completely eliminates string binding. You know that little ping sound you sometimes hear when you're tuning up? That's the string getting snagged in the nut and then suddenly slipping free. These techniques stop that dead in its tracks, which gives you incredibly smooth and rock-solid tuning stability. Fretwork is another one of those areas that's absolutely crucial, and it's so much more than just a quick polish. It means we're checking every single fret to make sure none are too high or have popped loose. Then, yeah, they get polished so they feel like glass when you bend a string. But here's the key. After that, The whole guitar is play tested all over the fretboard, specifically listening for any hint of buzzing or notes that die out when you bend them. So when you put it all together, the right sequence combined with this crazy attention to detail, you blow right past a good enough setup. You end up with a verified result where the guitar plays not just better, but as perfectly as it possibly can. And hey, this isn't just some theory. Players feel the difference right away. Like Chip Moore from Tampa said, once you experience what a guitar that's been truly dialed in feels like, you just can't go back. You'll never settle for less again. So I guess the biggest thing to take away from all this is that you should demand more from a setup. It shouldn't be some mysterious process that happens behind a curtain. It should be precise, it should be transparent, and it should unlock everything your guitar is capable of. Which really just leaves one last question for you. Is your guitar playing at its full potential?